We are waiting for you to join us. Let us pour you a hot cup of steaming coffee. We can drink it out on the veranda. We'll sit, sip our coffee, visit with our relatives, maybe have a laugh or two. And read this issue of an 1800s newspaper. Today's issue is Portland, Oregon's Morning Oregonian, dated May 16, 1879. Indian life in the Indian Territory, Chicago, May 13th. The Times says editorially, a dispatch in this morning's Times from Muskogee lets a good deal of light in upon the sort of civilization which flourishes among the tribes of the Indian Territory. It appears that 4 Cherokees loaded themselves with whiskey and revolvers yesterday and took possession of Muskogee, which is the capital of the Creek Nation. The Cherokees were hunting Black people for whom they entertain some hatred that animates the best of the meanest poor whites in Mississippi, and 2 or 3 of the unfortunate colored folks were shot, while the remainder shut themselves up in their houses for safety. The Creeks don't seem to have had courage enough to protect their black friends, while very few whites in town remain neutral. The affair, which seems to be only a commonplace exemplification of the civilizing conditions under which these Indians are now living, furnishes pretty good argument in favor of the organization and settlement of the territory. A woman's last wager. A lady has engaged to hold her tongue 10 minutes in each quarter of an hour for 1,113 consecutive quarter hours on a wager of a $10 spring bonnet. Her husband holds the stakes. Much interest is felt in the matter by the married men of Wilmington generally, and bets are freely given and taken on the result, with the odds in favor of the bonnet. At 1 o'clock today, the lady had finished her 61st quarter hour and was in good spirits, although beginning to show signs of fatigue and weariness consequent upon the severity of her task. When she stepped upon the platform at the beginning of the 557th quarter hour, her task was half finished. She was received with enthusiastic cheers by the large crowd in attendance, and the band struck up "God Save the Queen." The lady's trainer was a deaf-mute. Are you looking for your own spring bonnet? I found this gorgeous one at Amazon. If you're interested, the link is in my descriptions. Wanted. A girl to cook and do the housework in a family of 2. Inquire at Mrs. J. Alice, corner of 5th and G Streets, East Portland. For sale, first-class billiard and pool tables and billiard goods, great bargains, must be sold by August 1st. Inquire of H. Hirsch, 64 Front Street. To lease. A salmon fishing station at Salmon Harbor, Whidbey Island, Washington Territory. This station is situated opposite Mukilteo and possesses many advantages over any other point on Puget Sound. This is a rare opportunity for those wishing to engage in salmon fishing. For terms and further particulars, address John E. Finney. Portland City News. The Columbia River. The last number of the San Francisco Commercial Herald pays the following glowing tribute to the Columbia River. In many respects, the Columbia River is the grandest on the continent. 1,400 miles above its mouth, it is as large as the Sacramento River is at Rio Vista, and it rolls to the sea with increasing grandeur all the way. Where it hews its way through the Cascades, a new and gorgeous picture is painted every moment, and after the mountains are passed, it sweeps in perfect purity and immense volume to the sea. It is washed by the most magnificent mountains in the Union, and where the rivers join at the ocean, there is an everlasting war of waters, which is as beautiful as it is terrible. By and by, when communication with Oregon is cheap and comfortable, people will cease to go to Europe in the summer, but will seek the Cascades of the Columbia, and as they watch, will grow to be better Americans, as they more fully realize the claims which their native land has upon their admiration. The Mississippi River has greater volume than the Columbia. The Hudson makes rival pictures, which are as fine as any painted by the Cascades, but there is a power, a beauty, a purity, and a wildness about the River of the West, which is altogether unapproachable in its charms. Runaway. About 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, a horse, attached to a buggy driven by Mr. William Beck, the well-known gunsmith, took fright while coming down Front Street. The horse started at a full run just below Washington, and upon reaching Stark Street, shortly curved his course, throwing Mr. Beck out. He was dashed violently to the pavement, striking on his head and shoulders, but it is thought is not dangerously hurt. The horse was stopped a little further down the street. The only damage was a broken shaft. New telephone stations have been established at the following places of business in this city: Dayton and Hall, Frank Brothers, Elston Palace Billiard Rooms, Customs House, Norton House, Gambrinus Saloon, and Gambrinus Brewery. Picnics. Portland Turn Verein. The Portland Turn Verein propose to hold their annual picnic on the last Sunday in May. A grand time is expected. Full particulars will be furnished in a few days. Columbian Engine Number 3 will be hosting a picnic. They have chartered the steamer City of Quincy under the command of Captain Buchanan for the trip. The steamer will leave at the foot of Yamhill Street at 10:30. The young gentleman having charge of the affair desired to have it stated that no liquor of any kind will be allowed on board the steamer. No disreputable characters will be allowed on board, and good order will be strictly maintained. Gentlemen's ticket 75 cents. Ladies, 25 cents.